What are your favorite Kemper profiles? Uh, well, doesn't is it really a good idea to talk about the Kemper profiles without hearing them? I know, but let's give you a quick rundown of what I use most often. um, for the most recent, for the guest solos and also for the lead guitar parts on the Obscura album, I profiled my friend Benjamin's Fryette amp. Benjamin is the guitar player for Counterword Experience, and he has this Fryette which we profiled. I've been using that for most of the clean stuff, because the green channel, as it's called on the Fryette, is just amazing, and the red channel on the Fryette, I think it's called a Sig X head. Um, that's for the lead guitar stuff. And on Obscura for the all of the rhythm guitars, I used the Marshall GVM profile, which I bought online somewhere. But then it got reamped because Victor, who mixed and produced the album, reamped all the guitars with the band's Engel stuff. On the first album I actually ever did with the Kemper was the Requital Trinity EP, which I produced and recorded and mixed and mastered, which is a awesome, great death metal band from Berlin. I really love the album that we did, and for that one we used the Engel Richie Blackmore hat and my Mesa Boogie cabinet, if I remember right, and I profiled that in the band's rehearsal space, and that's all we used for the whole record. And on the stuff I've worked on recently, like Pitts Miniman and the new Fountainhead, there's loads of different things. The Fryette for the cleans and the leads again, a lot of times. Also the Marshall that I have, and a PV 6505. Couple of it's a Mesa Boogie Heartbreaker somewhere in there. Yeah, it's a more of a combination of different stuff. Lately I had a couple of bands over for reamping for the Kemper. Here in the studio I did Cerebric Turmoil, which is a band I used to play, and for their new album we used the PVs in combination with the Marshalls, if I remember right. So yeah, those are kind of like my go-to profiles: PVs, Marshalls, the Fryette. And then there's so much stuff even in the presets, there's always something interesting. What I don't do with the Kemper is effects that much. I usually go for direct, for very dry, unprocessed profiles, and then do effects in Cubase. All right, here come the Obscura questions. Were you able to incorporate a lot of fretless riffs? Yeah, definitely. There are actually a couple of songs, like 2 or 3, where I only used fretless guitars. And then on the 15-minute track that I did, there's a lot of fretless as well, but not all the way through. So yeah, lots of fretless stuff on the upcoming Obscura album. And another question: how much did you contribute to the songwriting? Well, basically, I contributed stuff to I think all songs except one. I mean, it's kind of honestly, it's kind of difficult to explain and to talk about this, because I haven't even heard the fucking thing. I don't think I'll hear the finished version until you guys do, until it's in stores, for several reasons. But yeah, I definitely worked on all of the songs except 1 or 2, having different degrees of influence. Sometimes I would just be writing my solos and guitar parts. Sometimes I would work extensively on the arrangement and structure and stuff like that. And then there's 2 songs that I wrote on my own. One is just a short instrumental piece that's only fretless guitar and strings, more of an interlude type of thing. I think that's, from what I've heard, that's gonna end up on as a Japanese bonus track. And the other one obviously being the 15-minute track, which is called Weltseele, and basically that's all me. That being said, of course, Sebastian worked on the drums, and Linus worked on the bass parts, and Stefan did the lyrics, and it all started from a couple of ideas that Linus, the bass player, had, which I used as a starting point for building the whole piece. So there's definitely some of Linus's ideas in there. But you know, the whole arrangement, the whole structure, and 90% of the music is all me on that one. And then I did a very elaborate demo, and like the bass and drums. Took a lot of stuff from the demo, and then the guys, just like they always do, they add their own flavor and all the better for it. Especially the drums are just awesome. And Sebastian is awesome. And then in the end, my trusty partner in crime, Matthias Preisinger, who works with me on Fountainhead as well, did the final orchestrations of the string parts with me, and took it to a whole nother level. So I'm very happy with that. What other instruments do you play? Keyboards and piano. Not particularly good, but good enough to usually get the job done on my own projects and on demo recordings and stuff, you know, to give a clearer idea to the actual pros, what it is that I'm trying to do. I've been recording the keyboards on the 2 Fountainhead albums most of the time. And I play bass and fretless bass, obviously. Okay, I guess. I played fretless bass once on a death metal album. That was pretty cool. But again, it's nothing I have the time to sit down and practice. So when I play bass, it's usually for demos and little recordings here and there. And I have a banjo lying around, which I occasionally get out and, you know, just noodle away. Nothing serious though, can't really play it. What can we expect from your new solo album, Reverse Engineering? Well, Reverse Engineering, I'm very happy with. It's different from very, very different from the first one. Like the first one, Fears the Enemy, had 4 different pieces which were completely unrelated to each other, saying basically, hey, this is what I can do, but this is also what I can do, and this and this. Like an introduction to my little musical universe, so to speak. And now Reverse Engineering is more of a coherent statement. There's still tons of very different stuff going on, very diverse influences and lots of different musical moods and colors and everything. But you should be able to identify that you're listening to the same album by listening to different songs, which is something that the first one didn't have. There's going to be vocals. Actually, there's 2 different versions of each song. One with vocals and one without. But it's not, like I'm taking the easy way out and just removing the vocals and having the guitar play the lead vocal melody. Like the arrangements and mixes and even the parts and sometimes the musicians are different in both versions. So it's the vocal version and the instrumental version forming a complete picture of the statement of the song in total. Hope that makes sense. I'm very happy with it, and I can't wait to share it with you guys, to release it. We're working on another music video right now, which is gonna come out first, and I just have to finish some things in the mix and master departments, Maybe have a few more guest appearances. So it's going to be out very soon.